We are standing outside of the remains, or the ruins, of Kofu Castle, also called Maizuru Castle, in Kofu City, Japan, in Yamanashi Prefecture. It used to be Kai Province, dominated by the Takeda clan during the Warring States period. Now, most of the castle is actually not here anymore. Now, the walls that you see and what remains of the moat are original, although they've been built onto and added to over the course of time. But the Takeda clan actually did not build a castle here, even during the Warring States period, because they didn't want to draw attention to them. They didn't want to be a target by other clans. Now, it was the reign of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, actually, that saw that the castle was built. Before we go on about that, just have a look at these castle walls, and you can see how they took these massive stones. They would cut some of them a little bit, but for the most part, take smaller stones and fill in the gaps as they built these into a mountain. Now, so the Takeda clan, they were one of the most powerful clans here in Japan at the time, but the forces of Oda Nobunaga and Tokugawa Ieyasu combined to defeat the Takeda clan around 1582. So that's the same year Oda Nobunaga, the most powerful person in Japan and the first of the three unifiers, well, he died, and his vassal Toyotomi Hideyoshi took over control, and he said, build this fort. And it began, with Tokugawa Ieyasu, and then fell to the responsibility of some other clan leaders. But it was built here because it was their strategic place. Now, the Tokaido Road connects, and in ancient times, it connects Tokyo, which was called Edo at the time, and central and southern Japan. And of course, the emperor lived in Kyoto. Now, it was a strategic place, so it was built, and in the Warring States period, up until about the 1630s, it was still kind of volatile. So they needed this as an important fort so they could move soldiers really quickly to stop any daimyo who wanted to take over the power of the Tokugawas. So it was a strategically important castle, and actually seen as the most important outside of Edo Castle, where the shogun lived. And the shogun, by about the 1700s, just to make sure that no daimyo would try to take over, what they did was rotate the lords of the castle, just so that nobody could get too comfortable. Now, the remains of the castle itself, like I said, the walls they are original, and they had been built on and added on over time, but the buildings eventually got torn down during the Meiji Restoration. So unfortunately, a lot has been lost. Even after the Meiji Restoration, 1868, most of the 5,000 castles in Japan were dismantled, and so we've lost them to history. Even Kofu Station here, has part of the castle. So the castle town kind of grew over time under a lord named Yanagisawa in particular, and it grew very prosperous and quite successful. But because of the Meiji Restoration and the new thinking of modernization, they tore these beautiful things apart. But there were people that tried to preserve them and protect them. So, over the course of time in the 1900s, there was some preservation. So we're going to the top where this used to be the main keep, and where you could see out over the whole of this area of Kanto in Yamanashi Prefecture. Now, it would have been very formidable. You can see the city there. You can even see Mount Fuji on a clear day, which we can't see right now. Now, the gates that you see here and the moat, well, the moat's original, but most of the moat's covered in. We only have one facing moat, and the other things have been reconstructed, but they've been reconstructed in the original style, which is really cool. And it's a typical castle. They've got these little holes that are square and triangle shaped to shoot arrows and arquebus guns. They would have had trapdoors to drop rocks on enemies trying to get in. So anyway, that's a little bit about Kofu Castle and the history of the place.